less than 6 weeks away now from your challenge for the WBC heavyweight title at the Pyramids.
Yes, sir.
Does it feel the same as your other fights that you've had in kickboxing, or does this one feel special, feel different?
Like pressure-wise, everything's about the same, but yeah, the difference is it's a different sport, it's a different discipline, so that gets me excited.
Was it important for you to treat this one like any other fight you've had, rather than get too tied up in the idea of a new sport, not only a new sport, but against an amazing champion like Usyk? Was it important for you to just think, I'm just having another fight like I've won so many in the past?
No, 100%. I totally understand the whole situation and the dynamic that we're in. Like, ooh, he's like the unbeatable guy. Like, what an opportunity I have to show that he's not that unbeatable. So, for me, it's just a man with 2 arms and 2 legs. And yeah, I'm excited. And I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna showcase who Rico Verhoeven is, the former undisputed kickboxing champion.
If we just rewind a few weeks or months to when this fight first started to kind of emerge,
yeah.
We understand it looked like, or you were expecting maybe to box Anthony Joshua at that
yes,
point.
Sir.
At what point did it start to become obvious that actually it was going to be Usyk, not only Usyk but for the world heavyweight title as well? When did that come about, and what were your reaction at the time?
Actually, me and my team, we came up with the idea. So we were in Spain in training camp, and of course the accident happened the end of December, but we just continued training, and we were like, okay, this fight is most likely not going to happen, especially not now in this situation. So what is and what could be next? And we took time, we discussed, like, what about Usyk? Could that be an option? Yeah, like, why not? Let's talk to the organization and let's see how they feel about it. So I pitched him the idea. Like, hey, I'm the undisputed champion. I've been the undisputed kickboxing champion for so many years. And Usyk has done the same within boxing. How about undisputed versus undisputed? And they said, we love it.
And because of this fight, because you've taken on Usyk, there'll be a lot of boxing fans who don't know an awful lot about you. This will be their first real exposure to you, not just as a fighter, but as a person as well. So if we take it all the way back, like, when did it start for you? When did combat start for you? And was it kickboxing from the outset, or how did it all, like, when did you first go in the gym and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I started kickboxing at the age of 6. So my dad started teaching, and ever since he brought me to the gym, and that's how it all started. So, and I never stopped. So that's it's like, yeah, I started walking. Of course, it started as fun, and slowly, yeah, we did some matches when I was younger, but I was always pretty big, pretty heavy, so it was hard to get these youth matches. So at a certain point, my dad said, you know what, we'll wait with matches till you're like 16. But I was at the age of 12 or 13, so it was pretty hard because my dad was pretty strict. He's like, okay, you have to train, but I didn't have anything to train for. But then I was almost turning 16, and finally, because back in the day, kickboxing was not as regulated as it is today. So I was 16, and I come in the adult division, and in the heavyweight division, because I was 16, I was 100 kilos. So that's how it started, and ever since we've just been fighting, and we've been doing great.
Would you describe yourself as a boxing fan? Like, when you were a kid and stuff, was there boxing on in the house? Did you have boxing heroes, or was it just kickboxing? Like, was there a kind of linear pathway with boxing?
No, of course, we've been following martial arts in general, and yeah, when I was younger, my dad was watching Mike Tyson. So we definitely grew up with, just like I said, martial arts in general, and it was kickboxing, it was K1, it was boxing. So we saw it all.
Mike Tyson, the man who famously won that WBC heavyweight title, and that green and gold was very sort of famous in the 90s in particular because of him.
Yeah.
Now you get the chance to fight for yourself. Like when you had the idea of fighting Usyk, did you expect there to be titles on the line, or did you expect it to be an exhibition, or was it like, I'm only want to fight him if there's belts involved?
No, I was just like, I want to fight the very best, and if there's going to be belts involved, let's go. What a blessing. So then when they said it's going to be the WBC, I was super excited, and to me that made sense. I understand that for people outside of the sport of boxing, within the sport of boxing, they don't really understand the context. So that's why, like for me, I can give them a little bit of context and perspective of what I've done, because only the WBC acknowledges kickboxing and has a Muay Thai belt as well. So they understand my kickboxing credentials. So for them it was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. So, but like I said, I understand if you don't know that, it's easy to say like, how does this guy skip the line like that? But yeah, I got an amazing track record within the sport of kickboxing.
At what point did it become clear that they were happy to sanction this? Because like you mentioned there's been a lot of controversy about it, and you said the phrase skipping the line, exactly what people have been saying. When did the WBC say, actually that's cool because we acknowledge his credentials here?
Yeah, I don't know, somewhere.
From the outset?
Yeah, like when they announced the fight, they said, okay, it's going to be WBC, and then there were some rumors like, we don't know, and then they said like, yeah, we're going to sanction it, because he is who he is.
And let's just have a bit on Usyk. At what point did you become aware of the name Oleksandr Usyk? Is he someone that you've followed, been aware of for a long time, or is he kind of a new?
No, of course. Like I said, I've been following the sport. I'm like a freak is maybe a little bit crazy, but like, I don't really dig into the sport, and also into the competition and the potential competition, and like I'm a fan. I'm a fan of martial arts, of mixed martial arts, of boxing. So I just try to follow as much as I can. So because there's so much these days, it's hard to keep up. But like I heard the name Usyk from years and years ago when he was dominating the cruiserweights.
How do you go about beating him? Because obviously nobody has. He's a formidable force, and he looks like he's getting better with age. You could argue the Daniel Dubois win was his best one since he's moved to heavyweight.
100%.
So how do you go about beating him? How do you put those systems in place?
Being different. I think he's dissected the sport of boxing to another level. So he knows exactly if you do this, then you do this. So, and I'm a kickboxer. So I think that's going to be the biggest difference.
It might sound like a stupid question, but when you're kickboxing, you have to worry about everything else, not just fists. Now you go into a fight with a man who can only hit you with his two fists. Does that make the proposition less daunting, less dangerous, or is it?
No, definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. No, it's. I think you are correct. There are two weapons that you don't have to worry about, but now there's so many other things to worry about, and getting punched more in the face and getting punched in the body. So, like I said, I'm so used to taking the damage more widely spread, and now it's going to be more focused. So that's something different. But like I said, I've been boxing for over 15 years, but I've been boxing to kickbox, and now I'm gonna box, or I'm training boxing to box. So that's the difference. But it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying myself.
And you've been in his position as an undisputed champion of your sport, and fights where you're in, and many people expect you to win, or certainly don't give the opposition too much of a chance. Now you come into this fight a significant underdog.
Yeah.
That must be a new sensation for you, or certainly one you haven't felt for a few years. There's not many people giving you a chance in this fight.
No.
In the boxing world. How does that feel? Does it release the pressure? Does it feel nice in a way? Does it feel good?
No, for me, because I don't go off on anybody else's opinion. I don't think about it. I don't use it. For me, it's just like everybody has their right to their opinion, and I leave that. It's what you think, and it's just up to me to prove you wrong. That's it. Because I put the pressure on me. He has the target on his back. He's been having the target on his back for so many years. I had the same. So I've been so used to the big lights, the big sold out arenas, all the media attention, the pictures, the interviews. I'm used to that pressure. I'm used to that because I've been doing it for the last decade. So for me, that's not new. So I'm putting the pressure on myself to make sure I perform to the best of my ability. So I'm not putting myself like, oh, I'm the big underdog, so there's nothing to lose. No, there's definitely something. I'm not even thinking about losing. I'm going to win. And when I win, I'll write history.
Just wanted to cast your mind back to the 26th of April 2014 to the Vollenfalter Halle in Darmstadt when you boxed around with Jonas Linfera, your boxing debut.
In what year was that?
That was in 2014.
Okay.
And this month actually brings up 12 years since that day. So many people won't realise this isn't your boxing debut. You've had the boxing debut, which you won in 2 rounds.
Yeah, exactly.
But first of all, obviously, that wasn't the pyramids in Giza, it was in Darmstadt. What are your memories of that night? It obviously went well for you, but not so well that you carried on boxing. What can you cast your mind back to those days?
No, like I said, I had been boxing since, like I said, for the last 15 years. So I've been in and around Team Fury for that amount of time. And Peter has been helping me ever since. So that's why, or that's also one of the reasons I believe that I was kickboxing champion for such a long time. Because that was such a significant part of what we were doing that made a difference with all the other kickboxers. Because we were boxing, but like I said, I was boxing to kickbox, and that's like totally different story. And what do I remember from that? It was just like, I was just trying stuff. So I was like, okay, let's do a professional boxing match. Let's go. And I also did I think it was 2015. I did an MMA fight. So I'm used to being in and around combat sports. I just enjoy it so much.
Do you remember what you got paid that night in Darmstadt?
I have no clue.
No.
I have no clue. and especially with that, with you saying that, I think that's one of the most important things that I always took within my whole career, is that, of course, we're thinking about making money, but making money is not the most important thing for me. The most important thing is becoming and being the very best. And being the very best comes with a price tag. So the money will come. If you're the best, the money follows after that. So I'm definitely not worried about the money. The money is nice, but I'm worrying about becoming the very best. And especially in this case, making legacy and writing history.
You mentioned the name Fury there and being involved with Team Fury and Peter in particular. When did that link up first happen? Was it around that time back in sort of 2014, 2015?
No, even before that, I think, let me look at my team, 10, 11, something around, some years.
15 years or so now.
Yeah.
With Peter and the Furies.
Yeah, yes sir.
Yeah.
And it started off as me coming in as a sparring partner, because they were training in the Netherlands, and slowly turning into a training partner and becoming one of the team.
Before we talk about Peter, I wanted to ask you about Tyson, because there's videos that have emerged of you sparring him back in the day as well. How good or valuable was that experience for you at that point in your kickboxing career to share rounds with him, and how did they go? What are your memories of it?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing, and that's, like I said, exactly what I needed to step my game up as a kickboxer. And that made me, especially with all the input Peter put in within the team, made me the dominant kickboxer that I was. I have to get adjusted to that. I wouldn't say that I am, but I'm not anymore. So I was that dominant kickboxer for so many years. So I think that was one of the key pieces within that puzzle.
Did he give you any advice at the time? We hear he's very generous with his time and after sparring, and he's always sort of talking to the partners after. Is there anything that he told you that stuck in your mind from back then, or anything that he showed you that you sort of carried with you until now?
No, always the same. Just keep working hard, keep putting in the work. That's the most important thing. And what I like is from the team that I've created around me throughout those years is that they have no egos, because we bring people in that are good in their lane. This is the best person in that particular part. That's the best person in that particular part. So, for example, my kickboxing trainer Dennis has never had an ego of, hey, let's bring Peter in and make your boxing better. And he never thought for a second, oh, maybe he might leave me because he thinks Peter is a better trainer. No. So, and that's all the people I've surrounded around me have that same mentality. They are 100% confident. They are the best in their vertical, in what they're doing. But that doesn't mean you're also the best in the best boxing trainer. You're the best power trainer. You're the best nutrition. No. So we needed more people within the team, and Peter is also like that, an amazing team player. But of course, first everybody had to earn that status of like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about.
You mentioned the different weapons that you have to deal with in boxing and kickboxing, but one massive difference is obviously the time, the duration of the fight itself.
Yeah.
How much have you had to kind of change things, adjust things to deal with the extra roundage, really, and the length of time you're going to be expected to fight if it goes the distance?
Yeah, that was quite an adjustment, and especially because kickboxing is so explosive, and it's just 5 rounds, so you don't have too much time to like settle in. And now I understand so much more that boxing is an art. And the funny thing is, we were talking about it this week, and someone said, yeah, but you're doing your work on the canvas. Oh yeah, you're doing your work on the canvas, and boxing is art. So, and you have 12 rounds like to paint a masterpiece. So I was like, wow, yeah, that is a significant difference, but that's why I understand it so much better now, that it is considered an art.
Do you think this is a fight that have you thought you need to win this on points, so you have a better chance going the distance and winning the decision, or are you thinking if he goes the distance, I need to be getting to him early? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, of course, but like you always try to wrap it up as fast as possible and as soon as possible. So, and especially with the weight difference, is as soon as I clip him, he's gonna feel that, because it's gonna be like at least a 20-kilo difference.
And just finally, when you win this fight and win the belt, is this the start of the campaign as a boxer for you?
100%.
One and done, or you're here to stay in boxing now?
100%.
Really?
100%. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the start.
Really? What else do you want to do? What else do you want to achieve?
No, I'm not focused on what's next. For me, is like, actually, if we like look at it, what is next after this? I've beaten the unbeatable guy. Maybe there's nothing next, I don't know. But for me, basically, now it's just focused on the task that's ahead. And that's Oleksandr Usyk. And we'll see what happens after. For me, it's just now, this is the task, and I want to rewrite history.